The state of Michigan has been going through some turmoil as of recently. Everybody knows that the city of Flint, Michigan, has had their water corroded. There's lead in the pipes. People are calling for, a mass fix of the infrastructure and, money to be sent to the city so that they can repair what needs to be fixed. So, the legislators of Michigan have gotten to work. And what did they work on? They worked on banning sodomy. That's right. Instead of, fixing the situation of lead in the water and poisoning children, they decided it would be best to ban sodomy. And they did this all in the guise of saying that they were protecting animals.
Animals, yes.
So, SB 219, it passed the Senate just a few days ago. Now, there are 38 members of the Senate. What is that? 27 Republican and 11 Democrats.
11 Democrat.
How did they vote, Mike?
37 to 1.
37 to 1 in favor of banning.
And
sodomy.
at face value, what's the first thing that comes to mind? What's the first thing that you thought as far as who? I wouldn't say who, but what party represented that one vote?
Look, it had to be the Republicans. That had to be a Republican strategy. So that one dissenting vote, it's got to be a Democrat.
You sure about that?
It's got to be.
No. The dissenting vote came from a Republican. So 37 members voted yes, both Democrat and Republican.
And for you for people that don't understand what this means, to ban sodomy is to ban anal sex and oral sex. Okay, and they're making it a felony, punishable by a maximum of 15 years in prison.
But a maximum of 15 years, but on the bill it doesn't indicate a minimum. Right.
There is no minimum. So what they did, and like I said, they did this under the guise of protecting animals, right? So first, a little background information. Okay, so back in 2003, there was a landmark case, and it's Lawrence versus Texas, and it held that laws against sodomy are unconstitutional. So what states do is they find ways around that by packaging it into bestiality laws. So that's exactly what this Michigan Senate did. And so they updated the language on a Senate bill. I believe, Senate Bill 219. Well, is it 219? Yeah, Senate Bill 219. And they updated language. And we'll go ahead and put it up. So it says, a person who commits the abominable and detestable crime against nature, either with mankind or with any animal, is guilty of a felony, punishable by imprisonment for not more than 15 years, or if the defendant was a sexually delinquent person at the time of the felony, punishable by imprisonment for an indeterminate term, the minimum of which shall be 1 day and the maximum of which shall be life.
That's a big gap. That's a big gap.
That's a huge gap. 1 day and life.
And a defendant that is sexually delinquent person, or the defendant was a sexually delinquent person at the time
of the felony,
of the offense. So
can be punished from anywhere from 1 day to their whole life.
So it's going to be determined at the time,
right?
At the time they are sentenced, whether what's appropriate. It's going to be between 1 day and life.
Right
now, sexually delinquent person. What constitutes A sexually
what is a
delinquent
sexually
person.
delinquent person?
What is a sexually delinquent person? Somebody who has been convicted of like child molestation, or somebody who has been convicted of actual on a registry, bestiality, something that is actually
what constitutes a sexually delinquent person. It's so general, it allows them to pretty much be really loose with how they define it. So
I don't even care about how they define it. I'm really worried about how they think they're going to enforce something like that.
Right.
Like most reasonable people do not engage in sexual activity if this is what that's about,
right?
Which most people think it is, because they added mankind.
Exactly.
So let's just assume that that's what it's about. Most reasonable people, men and women, regardless of sexual orientation, do not practice any kind of sexual act out in public. So why even pass a law like this when you can't even enforce it?
Exactly. It would be horrible. I mean, like the only way you can enforce it is if there was a crime. Let's say somebody did get raped and they were sodomized as well. Then you could punish them for that. But they're not stating that it has to be a criminal act.
No,
they're just saying sodomy is banned outright.
Whether criminal, whether torture, or whether pleasurable.
Yeah, consenting adults, same thing. So, like I said, so they did this under the guise of bestiality and protecting animals. But if this was really about animals, protecting animals, there's this one line in this text right here where it says detestable crime against nature, either with mankind or with animal. Now, if this was about animals, couldn't you just go ahead and strike out either with mankind? Couldn't you just leave the with any animal? Why did they include mankind? Why do they feel it necessary to try to rule over what you can and cannot do inside your own bedroom?
I'm not really too worried about it. I guess for those individuals in Michigan who that's what they like to do. Yeah, I'm not worried about it for them, because there's really nothing that unless jokers go around tattletaling or something. I don't know how that's going to work.
And see, we're in South Carolina. This law is in South Carolina as well. Now they're in a bunch of states, and some states where they have these laws, they have relaxed the rules if you are homosexual. So it won't affect you if you are participating in this behavior if you're homosexual. But if you're heterosexual, it's a felony.
Don't some states, or haven't some states ruled it unconstitutional to even sodomy laws are unconstitutional?
Yes, even the Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional. But like I said, they get around that by saying that it's part of bestiality, protecting the animals. That's what they want to do.
Well,
that's why they put
I guess
mankind in the text.
I mean, I guess one thing passing this law does it, because actually they number one, they can't enforce it, and if they try, they probably would be sued. They probably would be sued, and the person
taken
suing
right to the Supreme Court,
and they would win. So
that's right.
It's a
for show bill.
No. It's a for show for the Christians of the state.
Yes,
and so true. Even though they can't enforce it, they can make themselves look like look what we did. We did something. We tried something, but essentially it's an empty bill. So you're not doing anything. So I mean, what is it actually accomplishing? Even if you think you are fighting the good fight, what is it actually accomplishing? You're not. It's just an empty bill.
And this is another example, yet another example of Democrats and Republicans equally being bad for the American people. It doesn't matter which party they are, okay? It really does not matter which party they are. They will always do things that are that aren't good for you and I. It just isn't. They try to impose their will and keep things the way they want them. They don't care about what we want. 30. What was the vote? 37 to 1.
37 to 1.
37 senators thought this was a good idea.
And it's
Republicans and Democrats.
And what's most interesting is their efforts to issue a very harsh punishment.
Yes.
For these heinous,
exactly,
this heinous act.
A maximum of 15 years.
Have you? I'm trying to. Have you heard anything about punishing anyone for, poisoning?
You know what?
Did you see anything?
Yeah, hold on. No, I got that right here. I got that.
Do you see anything?
Hold on. No, I ain't got that. No, I don't have that. No.
I'm saying. Nope, is anybody facing any jail time for actually destroying people's lives and poisoning their children for
Governor
years?
Snyder, still governor,
and they're not.
He's not stepping down. City manager, still a city manager. No repercussions other than children being poisoned and it affecting even their children and their children.
And a crumbling infrastructure.
Yeah, and they're not changing the water source.
Didn't he ask for like Didn't Snyder ask for $4 billion in government aid, federal aid? Mm-hmm. He asked for. So
$4 billion.
So he neglected his responsibility.
Yeah.
And
then wants government.
And now wants government aid.
Yeah.
But what people do with a certain part of their body is a priority.
Yeah. Good job, Michigan. In the face of catastrophe. You picked a fine time to try to limit people's rights. Good job.
Big government Republicans.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Republicans don't want big government.
27 to 11. 27 Republicans, 11 right. Democrats. It's 27 Republicans.
Yeah. They want a government so small that they can't see it, right? But when it comes to managing what you do inside your bedroom, nope, you want Big Brother watching.
They want a government so small that they can control what you do in your bedroom. Government overreach.
It's highly hypocritical, and I'm sure they know this, but they don't care. So, who knows when they'll finally get around to, actually helping the people of Flint, Michigan, fixing the pipes. When they gonna vote on that? When they gonna vote on the relief funds?
They worried about the wrong pipes. That's what they're worried about. They're worried about the wrong pipes.